Hi, frauders. Donnie Aldrich, Chief Executive Officer of Tall Cap Epsilon. Hope that you're all doing well, that you're safe and you're healthy as we continue to battle through this coronavirus pandemic. In our weekly address this week, this is really all about you and sharing and highlighting the great work that you're doing and how both our collegiate and alumni members have really taken this opportunity to stay connected, to continue to drive forward. So I've got a lot of notes here in front of me that I'm happy to share and essentially just give a news report of here's all the good stuff that's going on in this week and things that have occurred and things that are going to occur in the next week. So I want to start first. We did actually have a colony come across this week, a new colony that we have, the Zeta Omicron colony at Western Carolina University. We've got a group there who's excited to now become a colony and move towards becoming a charter group. Excited to have them join and be part of the TKE family. We have a couple interest groups, actually, 3 of them that are continuing to move forward. One at Kappa Zeta, which is Hobart and William Smith College, as well as a couple others that are in progress. One is at Oklahoma and another one at Marymount. So those are still in progress, those interest groups, but I know our growth team is working very hard to bring those groups into the family and to be part of the TKE legacy. Education is continuing at our group at the University of Kentucky, as well as Marymount University, and those men are moving through the process during this time with our growth team and our expansion team. You're going to see 6 videos actually in total over the next 2 weeks that are going to be produced by our growth team. So we're excited for them to be producing content, and they do a phenomenal work, both Victor Casanova, Zach Scott, and our leader of expansion, Nick Kimball. They're expecting and projecting we're actually going to have over 100 initiates in the coming weeks from our growth team. So the expansion of the fraternity continues through this time, and excited, again, more people coming in and being part of leading the charge in this movement for TKE to be the dominant force in the Greek world. Talking about finances quickly, it's all positive news of some groups that are doing some phenomenal work. I want to give a shout out to Epsilon Omicron at the University of Houston, a group that over time has had issues in collecting and meeting their financial obligations, but they actually have paid $7,000 of their $10,000 outstanding. I know they have a plan for the other 3, and just want to give them kudos, as well as some more Texas love. Our Pi Eta chapter at Texas A&M, they have a 0 balance. First time that has occurred in a while, and that's really a testament to the work and the leadership that they have put in to get themselves in that financial stronghold to be able to build up resources now for them to do things in even finer and further fashion. So I want to give a lot of love to those guys who are creating that financial sustainability, just like our groups that are creating sustainability in many other areas. Want to shift a little bit over to St. Jude. Virginia Tech this week is having their TKE Week, and typically they do that on campus. It's a phenomenal event. They raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. They've already raised $30,000 just on an online platform. So wanted you all to hear what is possible and how they are being creative. So if you weren't able to have your St. Jude event, something that you can still continue and push forward with virtually, and excited to see how successful that event is, because I will tell you this, it's been a few days that they've raised that $30,000, but that's going to continue, and it's going to spread in terms of their fundraising abilities, and they do such a phenomenal job over there at Virginia Tech, and we're grateful for the work, and as well as the children at St. Jude. Let's make a move up to our friends north of the border, up in Canada. Upsilon Kappa at Trent University, just sharing here that they had a group they had a call with half of their chapter and a member of the BOA this week, setting up budgets for next year, pairing up officers with BOA members as mentors, looking to help with food drives in the community, and they've actually doubled their chapter size this year. So kudos to them. Their call was really to focus on complacency, getting ahead of it, and looking to push forward and still continue to make those big steps as they've evolved and grown as a chapter. We're going to stay in Region 1, new Phi chapter at Duquesne University. They've actually grown their chapter to 60 plus men. And if you think, okay, that's great, Donnie, we have a number of groups that are 60 plus men. Their campus only has 6,000 students on it. So the chapter makes up for 2% of the entire male population. So great work to our group there at Duquesne. Keep up, stay engaged, stay committed through this time, and appreciate the work that you're doing. Make a shift over into the Big Ten. Penn State, our Pi chapter, they actually are gunning for their first Top TKE award since 2014. For all of you, the Top TKE deadline is May 15th. chance for you to apply and get some accolades for the great work that you're doing. The group is up to 100 men this semester after a dominant spring recruitment of 25 men. Congratulations and great work to our group there at Penn State. Mu Theta at Lycoming College didn't skip a beat with new member education and chapter operations through this time. They've been hosting weekly Zoom calls to check in with each other's academics and to plan for the fall 2020 semester. One other Northeast update I want to give you before I give you a little bit of programming knowledge. NewFi at Delaware, one of our newest groups, followed up on a call that they had with their board and submitting their chapter assessment tool to Pat McElroy. They're working towards wanting to charter. They're a new colony. They're actually moving forward their plan to submit an application to charter this spring, and it was just formed a colony this past fall. So they are moving at a rapid rate. They're excited. They're fired up. They've got the spirit of TKE burning bright, and grateful for the work that they're doing at Delaware. Leadership Academy. March 15th was the deadline for Leadership Academy applications. That process of selecting those 72 men, we're still hopeful to be able to have the Academy in August. Obviously, we'll keep you up to speed as this pandemic progresses. If we are able to do that, we are moving forward in the selection process and hope to be able to get folks some answers here in the next couple of weeks on their application and their candidacy to be part of the Leadership Academy in Colorado Springs in August. Going back to some chapter highlights, Tau Theta at FDU Madison, they have really been on top of it. They had to wait a few weeks to get approval for their online new member ed, but they've really persisted and communicated well to make that a reality. In interest of getting their candidates invigorated, up to speed, they've actually invited multiple guests from our TEAC professional staff to be part of some of their Zoom calls and their candidate education. Justin Bernard did a virtual meeting with St. Jude to continue planning for TEAC Week there this spring. And the chapter launched an online event to actually help with COVID-19 in response and being helpful in their community. So I want to thank you for that work and helping those frontline doctors and nurses who are doing everything to save lives each and every day. They're using this time to focus on things they haven't had a chance to do previously. So working with Karen Coleman to update their scroll numbers. She's a member of our professional staff. Update their scroll numbers in our database, as well as a longer and larger process to increase alumni communication. So thank you for the work that they're doing, looking to create a lifetime chartered alumni association, and appreciate all the great work that chapter is doing. Staying in Region 1, got a lot of great updates from Region 1. Epsilon Zeta at Rider University. They've actually connected with the Beta Upsilon chapter at the University of Maine for guidance in creating a gaming fundraiser using Twitch. So I want to thank them for utilizing, getting out of their TEAC neighborhood, right, reaching out to others and finding ways that we can do things in an even finer fashion. They've actually had a lackluster response to some of their typical philanthropy events on campus. So they're trying to do something different, utilize those resources again. Please communicate with these other chapters. That's a great thing about being quarantined. Got some time to reach out and connect with other chapter brothers from all across the U.S. and Canada. Find out what they're doing well and how you can take it, use it with your group or with your alumni. Iota Kappa chapter, at Clarkson University is determined to not let a full campus closure keep them from a third consecutive Top TEAC award. They've actually raised $16,000 for St. Jude before campus closed and plan to have their annual TEAC Week event bring them around $25,000. That week has now been retooled and rethought with everything from a virtual seesaw for the St. Jude event to a virtual car smash event. And each member is committed to raise $100. They were actually lucky enough to have initiation before campus closed and had an honorary initiate, which we would love for all of you to consider, whether you're a collegiate member or an alumni member. If you have some of these phenomenal folks who didn't get to join a fraternity in college, who you think live the values of TKE every single day, there is a process to bring them into the organization. They have just the same rights and privileges as you and I do. So a phenomenal program that we have. My dad is an honorary initiate, and it has really strengthened our bond and our relationship in him being a fraternity member. I'm going to keep moving here. We've actually got one more Region 1 update, and that's Xi Gamma at NYIT. They actually have produced a March newsletter. The new member education is moving forward with determination from Nick Orsini, Michael Venezuela, and Miguel Garcia. So I want to thank you guys for the work that you're doing to keep that new member ed process moving forward. Now, all of that highlights something that was shared with me that is in our founding documents, and Edwin Robinson actually mentioned it this week on a call with Chris Niles. And in our founding documents, there's a quote that says, We stand for men whose manhood has withstood the test of trying conditions. And there's no doubt that we are in trying conditions, and highlighting some of these pieces that are happening in the collegiate end and the alumni end just shows the type of men that we have and the type of organization that we have, and just extremely proud of the work and the accomplishments that have occurred just in this very week. That is just the highlights of this week. So let's keep going. Let's talk about some of on the alumni end. Chris Niles and our regional director in the South, Santos Laura, actually had a productive Zoom call with Josh Indek from Xi Lambda about what they can do to support the chapter operationally. That's our group at University of Georgia. What they can do to support operationally, as well as involvement in an Atlanta area alumni association. So they discussed the opportunity for the group to rebrand and continue to balance time within the province to support other groups. For those of you who don't know, these province advisors, these volunteers, they work not only with possibly their home chapter, one chapter, but groups in the area, and able to utilize their experience to really branch out and help a number of groups. So we're grateful for our volunteers who serve in a province advisor capacity, grand province capacity, our volunteers who serve locally, and every single one of you make a big difference, especially in this time. I know our regional director in Region 2 is also thrilled to share that they lead the charge in alumni volunteer video completions at 112. There are just a few left that we need to hit our goal of 337 volunteers to complete the AVA online video series. So if you are a volunteer serving in an officer capacity who has not done that, we encourage you to do that. edu.tka.org, a chance for you to go and complete those videos and get some great education and inspiration from our professional staff team. Alumni associations. There's been a lot of discussion, a lot of energy, a lot of love, a lot of passion out there about creating some of these alumni associations, as I mentioned. Tau Theta and Upsilon Tau are both taking active steps right now towards becoming chartered alumni associations. Some new volunteers that are coming into the system. Two men who have both relocated in the last year are stepping up into key roles with their own chapter. One being a BOA vice chair, and the other is presumed to be elected the new chapter advisor. But each of them want to do even more, and have actually added on to volunteer at the province level, one in Northern Ohio and one in Wisconsin. So we want to thank you, gentlemen, for stepping up, working with our collegiate members, and providing some of that mentorship and some of that advice and leadership. We really do appreciate it, and it's much needed. Jerry Weber. It wouldn't be a TKE video if we didn't give Jerry Weber a little bit of love. Theta chapter, University of Minnesota, has been a great leader up there. He's ready to step into the volunteer ranks as he gets ready to graduate and be involved. Jerry, excited to have you part of the volunteer team. I know you'll do a great job in inspiring and mentoring members of our fraternity. Last piece I want to touch on, utilize the opportunity if you have lost connection. You've seen this video and you're not sure if the fraternity has your correct address information, your correct contact information, email, phone. A great opportunity to go into the MyTKE portal, go to tke.org. You can update your contact information, or you can just call or email. I would prefer at this point that you email our office. You can look and find our staff on tke.org under the professional staff tab. Click on any of our faces, it'll send an email, and make sure that we have updated information for you. We want to make sure during this time that we are giving you information that's up to date, as well as connecting you in on different events that might be happening locally. So those are some highlights. This week, we have had all four regions gave a regional address throughout the week, as well as Greg Roskoff giving a fraternal services state of the fraternity and what is happening in chapter operations. There's a lot of work going on with member education videos that you're going to see coming out. I was lucky enough to be part of a Zoom call with a new member education class in Texas. And I know that I've been invited to another one next week, so continuing to be excited about some of those opportunities to engage with our members, just talk about the organization as a whole, talk about leadership, talk about all the great members that we have, both from our foundation board, our grand council, our volunteer corps, these phenomenal alumni who have contributed. Thrilled to have heard recently Bob Nardelli, who's a famous alumnus that we have, made an extremely large contribution to the TKE Leadership Academy, which is phenomenal work, and we're very, very grateful, Father Nardelli, for your gift. But that is helping to get us to the completion of the TKE Leadership Academy match. I know the foundation has done such great work in focusing on closing that out. And Father Elmer Smith has been a champion of the Leadership Academy in his $1 million match. So that's been a big goal of theirs. I know they're working towards its completion, and I would expect a big announcement in the future from them, and grateful for the support that they're providing for our Premier Leadership Program. I want to thank all of you for the work that you're doing. I'm going to continue to give these weekly updates and really just showcase and highlight you. So if you have updates, things that I can share with the entire fraternal world here through our videos each week, please send them to me, daldrich@teke.org. Happy to highlight and showcase you and make sure that you get a little bit of love and appreciation for all the work you're doing through this time. Frauders, stay safe. Please keep up the energy. Please keep up the love and passion. Thanks for being a Teke, and thank you for investing in the fraternity for life. Frauders, I love the fraternity.